So I am suffering from allergies. At first I thought it was a hypochondriac weeks ago because I just felt like I had allergy symptoms, not a cold or anything, but could have been a cold. And, DC has had an insanely mild winter to the point where I think we've only had literally 2 nights that were 20 degrees. And that's wreaking havoc with the pollen this year. That's not just me, but I woke up Sunday morning with a sore throat. We had dinner at my son's girlfriend's parents' house, and I was wondering maybe I picked up something, but I think it was just allergies. And this morning when I woke up, my throat wasn't as sore, but it's sore now, but not nearly as bad as it was when I woke up yesterday. So that brings me to today's subject, is dealing with a chronic illness, or in my case it's not an illness, but chronic allergies. And it's been a struggle, and my experience with it was, once life kind of calmed down, I never went to go see an allergist until I was say 45-ish, and just didn't have the time, and I just dealt with it. So the biggest symptom that I have from allergies is not so much the running eyes, the runny nose, that stuff, aside from the sore throat, which is unusual for me. It's lethargy. I get extremely lethargic when my allergies flare up, to the point where I literally have to take a nap by 3 o'clock on the bad days. And it's like the slow decline of energy. And when I finally snap out of it, whenever that happens, it takes about a day, and then I realize, holy cow, I'm a new man, because I'll still train when I'm like that. I'll take a massive nap around 3 or 4 if I can on those days, and do a monster effort at 6 p.m. and then go to have dinner and then pass out. But yeah, so everyone's got their issues. In my case, it's allergies, and so I went ahead and went to see an allergist. Great doctor, Dr. Goldberg. He would pick my brain more on HVAC questions than I would about my allergies. But I did the whole battery of the prick test and everything else, and figured out what I was allergic to was basically, I don't think I was allergic to my dog, but seasonal allergies. And I started taking shots. I did them religiously once a week. That would I'd get to the office around 3, and you had to wait around 15 minutes to 30 minutes after the shot. I can't remember it. I did so many times. And after a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years, I noticed no difference, unfortunately. The lethargy was still there. I was just still tired as always. In fact, a lot of times I go get my allergy shot, and granted your body's reacting to it, and I would go take a nap. So eventually, actually what happened was our insurance stopped carrying it, and stopped taking him as a allergist. And I just decided just to stop it and see what happened. And there really was no net change. So I was like, well, this carves out a bunch of copays and at least 2 hours out of my life, I'd say, a week. So it's not like I didn't try. But in my case, it's just something that's a cross I got to bear, and I just got to deal with it. So, yeah, so that's what's going on now. It just seems to be slightly earlier than normal, because this started weeks ago, not just now when it's March and trees are blooming. See the tulip trees blooming, the plum blossoms are blooming. But when that happens, I got to totally dial back my training. But what I look forward to is, like I said, in those moments where I snap out of the lethargic moments, all of a sudden a massive burst of energy. I just feel like a transformed man. So it's kind of nice in that regard. It sucks at the time, but it's that huge burst, and you feel like Superman, and you hit it, and you're like, wow, I'm just like on fire. So in that regard, I don't really freak out about too much, because again, that's where the consistency comes up. My consistent training allows for those moments where I'm exhausted all the time, and I try to really take advantage of that by resting, because my body's clearly demanding it, and I try to not ignore it. And the times when I did do that in my 20s, that's when I would get ear infections, and I get congested, and then ear infections and all kinds of stuff, and that just sets you back weeks after that point. So that, like I said, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Sore throat, and probably take a chill. Oh, and then I use take HRV readings every morning, have for months now, consistently. And I actually felt pretty good this morning, but my HRV reading begged to differ, and it was pretty crappy. It was a 3 out of a 10. I rarely get that low. Bad days usually 5. So 3 is bad. I think I might have gotten a 1 at one point, but that was like literally one time I got a 1. So that's what I'm dealing with today. I'm going to do work on balance. I'm going to work on walking on a PVC roller pin, pipe, and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll compete this weekend. We'll see. So I wish I had practiced. I practiced this more. So there's a ninja comp. This weekend, and I should probably do it. And this is always one of the obstacles or challenges, is rolling on the PVC pipe. And I wish I was more graceful at this. My buddy Josh, Jaguar Josh, is really good at this. It's neat watching his footwork on this. That's 6 feet. You got to go 6 feet. But it's a fun kind of circus challenge to do that. Like I said, I wish I practiced it more. But it's a neat little challenge because it works on your balance and your coordination, more importantly. So I'll be doing this for a little bit more. So I haven't done these in a while, and it's part of my goal to try to be well-rounded. And man, I tell you, I had some weak triceps for a long time, and I was a guy who had really strong triceps for a long time. It was one of those things where I just took it for granted, and I always assumed that I would have them. But that's not the case. If you don't use them, you lose them. And I really like using the K pulley for this, because it's convenient. And the little bit of eccentric overload that I get, you can get more, but it's tougher with the tricep press down, is great, because it gives you the double whammy on the concentric and eccentric phase. So this is something I've been working on very recently. It's a hip mobility exercise, but more importantly, it is a way of doing hip thrusts without stacking a ridiculous amount of weight on your pelvis. Doesn't give as much load, but it's convenient. It's a great stretch. And what you're doing is putting this band on the high part of your thigh by your hip and contracting your glute forward. Seems kind of simple, and it is, and that's the beauty of it. But it definitely works, because you'll feel it, the pull all the way through here to your glute, and then you just rotate, or switch to your other leg, and all it takes is a band, as opposed to getting a barbell, a pad, and a bench that wants to slide backwards. It's a good stretch, more than, at the very, very least, and for a lot of people it's more than enough load.